Richard Ewell was the first black male to win a figure skating national title in a singles and pairs competition. Born in 1952, Ewell grew up in Los Angeles, California. He began skating around age 10 or 11. He first qualified for the U.S. Figure Skating Championship in 1969 in the junior division and took home the national title in 1970. His pairs skating partner was Michelle McGlady, a black teen, and they earned a bronze medal at the 1971 Nationals before winning the junior pairs crown in 1972. They turned pro after winning nationals and toured with the Escapades. Marshall Walter Major Taylor, born in 1878, became a world-famous professional cyclist. He was born and raised in Indianapolis, where he worked in bicycle shops and began racing multiple distances in the track and road disciplines of cycling. As a teenager, he moved to Worcester, Massachusetts, with his trainer and had a successful amateur career, which included breaking track records. Taylor turned professional in 1896, at the age of 18, living in cities on the East Coast and participating in multiple track events, including 6-day races. He moved his focus to the sprint event in 1897, competing in a national racing circuit. He won many races and gained popularity with the public. Between 1898 and 1899, he set numerous world records in race distancing, ranging from the quarter mile to the 2 mile. At the 1899 World Track Championships, Taylor won the sprint event to become the first Black American to achieve this level of cycling notoriety and the second black athlete to win a world championship in any sport. Taylor was a national sprint champion in 1899 and 1900. He raced in the United States, Europe, Australia, Asia. Between 1901 and 1904, he beat the world's best racers. Peter Jonathan Westbrook, born in 1952, was a saber fencing champion who founded the Peter Westbrook Foundation. He was a U.S. fencing champion and Olympic medalist. His first coach was a medical doctor who was also founder of the Essex Catholic High School fencing program in St. Louis, Missouri, where he grew up. Westbrook had not considered college until he received a recruitment call from New York University's fencing program, one of the best in the country. In 1974, as a college senior, he placed first at the Amateur Fencers League of America's National Championship, beating world-class fencers. Westbrook claimed the U.S. National Men's Saber Championship 13 times. He won silver, bronze, and gold medals in numerous world championships. At his first Olympics competition in 1974, Westbrook suffered 2 torn ligaments but placed 13th among the world's best saber fencers. He went on to be on 5 Olympic teams. His greatest moment came when he won a bronze medal at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. At the 1992 Games, Westbrook was chosen as flag bearer for the closing ceremonies in Barcelona, Spain, an honor bestowed by the votes of other participants. Eddie Hawkins will forever be known as the first native-born black soccer player to appear with the U.S. national soccer team. Hawkins grew up in Washingtonville, New York, where he was a 3-sport athlete at Washingtonville High School, starring on the soccer, basketball, and track team. However, his talent lay with soccer, and he was a 2-time All-State, 2-time National Coaches All-American, and 2-time Parade High School All-American. His talent attracted the attention of pro scouts, and when he graduated in 1980, the Washington Diplomats of the North American Soccer League selected him in the second round of the draft. Hawkins chose to delay his entry into professional sports and entered Hartwick College. During his 4 seasons with the Hawks, he went to the 1980 NCAA Final Four. Hawkins was drafted and then traded, but played in the New York City Super League. He was called up to the U.S. national team in 1984 and played with the Ecuadors. Finally, Eric Difreitas, who was a pioneer bowler, the first black bowler to become a member of the AMF Staff of Champions and one of the first black members of the Professional Bowlers Association. He was inducted into the United States Bowling Congress Hall of Fame as a pioneer bowler in 1994 at the age of 85. Typical of black pioneer trailblazers in American sports, Difreitas faced discrimination on the road to opening doors for black bowlers. The American Bowling Congress, ABC, barred non-white memberships. This is noted in a response letter to Ebony magazine from his daughter addressed to Mr. Donaldson, president of the Dayton, Ohio Bowling Senate. It reads, "As the daughter of bowler and octogenarian Eric Difreitas, I, along with many others, was more than surprised and disappointed that no efforts to his struggle as the racial barrier breaker of the American Bowling Congress was mentioned in your December issue. To me, having a quote about a bowling ball placed in a casket when one dies is of little merit and is belittling to your editors. I hope you will reread your material and realize that the ABC did not arbitrarily decide to admit minorities. In fact, bowling bags containing ball and shoes were thrown into rivers when the owners of same were rejected at bowling alleys because of their skin color. Please rethink your article and rectify your omissions. We must do right by our seniors. They have broken ground for many of us. Let's give credit where credit is due." Althea J. White, Hempstead, New York. In 1959, Difreitas was invited to join the AMF Staff of Champions, and he stayed for 30 years. AMF sent him to the South to develop bowling in black communities. He said, quote, "Prior to that, blacks didn't go anywhere to bowl. They had nowhere to bowl." End quote. Difreitas was deeply involved in all phases of bowling. As a bowler, pioneer organizer, instructor, public relations man, fighter for fairness in bowling and elsewhere, and was a student, teacher, and historian. He was instrumental in the formation of numerous junior leagues and tournaments that guided many young black bowlers into bitter competition and the pros. He was an outstanding role model because of his many charitable, civic, and church involvements. Today, the U.S. Bowling Conference acknowledges the annual Eric Difreitas Scratch Singles Classic that has been played for over 20 years.